but it was working again, her eyes adjusting to the darkness, taking in shadowy details of her prison. Silver gray walls, no windows, no door, just a dark alcove across from her that could have led to a hallway or an exit. She needed to get up and get out because someone had brought her here. Whoever it was could return, probably would return. She'd been asking too many questions. She'd been talking to too many people. She'd been trying to find the truth because she hadn't believed the coroner's report that Ruby had died of an accidental drug overdose. Ruby didn't take illegal drugs. She hated to take prescribed ones. She preferred holistic approaches to illness, meditation, healthy living, exercise. She rarely took an aspirin for pain, and as far as Ella knew, hadn't been sick with more than a cold in years. Her mother had died of a drug overdose when she was 14, and Ruby had vowed never to follow in her footsteps. Ella had told the police that. She'd told the coroner that. They hadn't listened because Ruby had been found in her car, drug paraphernalia on her lap. Toxicology test had proven what had been obvious to the officers who'd found her. She'd died of an opioid overdose. That was a fact Ella didn't dispute. What she questioned, what she absolutely could not believe, was that Ruby had administered the drugs to herself. So, while she'd worked on cleaning out Ruby's apartment, she'd talked to people who'd known her cousin. A social worker, hired by the county to work with recovering addicts, Ruby had met a lot of people. Ella had wanted to speak with all of them. In the few days she'd been in town, she'd done everything she could do to achieve that goal. She'd talked to co-workers, to neighbors, to members of Ruby's church. One of those people must not have liked the questions she was asking. Or maybe word had gotten out that she was making visits to the police, insisting that her cousin's death wasn't an accident. Newcastle was a small town. People knew each other. They talked. Whatever the case, Ella had been at the medical clinic, waiting for a key to Ruby's office. She'd needed to remove her cousin's personal belongings, and she'd wanted to look for anything that might help her make sense of the tragedy. She'd heard footsteps behind her, turned, and that was it. All she remembered. Her mind was blank. Just a blank void that she was frantic to fill with knowledge, because she had no idea what had happened, how she had gotten here, or who had brought her. She only knew that she had to escape. Something scuffled in the darkness. Fabric against metal, or feet shuffling against the floor. She tensed, terror finally slipping through the numbness. Someone was there. She could feel the presence like an icy finger running up her spine. Whoever it was moved almost silently. Just those soft, scuffling sounds mixing with the frantic pounding of her heart. She managed to get to her feet, her ankles so tightly bound she could barely shuffle backward. Even if she could run, there was nowhere to go, just the dark alcove and the deeper, darker shadow moving through it. Her heart thumped painfully, her attention riveted to the person walking toward her. Tall, broad, a man, she thought, but it was too dark to make out details of his face or features. She yanked at her bonds, trying to shuffle farther away as if somehow she could disappear into the darkness. "I'm not going to hurt you," the man said so suddenly, so unexpectedly, she jumped. "Said every serial killer who ever tried to convince a victim she was going to be okay," she responded, her mouth cottony with fear. "If I were a serial killer, I don't think I'd be worried about comforting you, not when you're already bound and helpless." "I'm not helpless." She glanced around, looking for a weapon, because she was helpless, tied up, alone, probably far away from civilization. "You are, but you don't have to worry. I'm not going to hurt you." He was close now, so close she could see his chiseled features, hard jaw, prominent cheekbones, light hair, eyes that were looking straight into hers. "What do you want?" she asked, still twisting her wrists, trying to loosen what felt like duct tape. If she could free her hands, she could fight. If she could fight, she had a chance of escaping.